Just hold within your space of awareness the concept of Dharma and really give it a moment to contemplate. Because very unfortunately, by the way we are raised, socialized, how our language works and so forth, we have sort of really come out of touch with this concept of Dharma, with the idea that freedom is not to do what you want, but freedom is to really want what you're doing and what you are meant to do. Welcome back to our little Karma Yoga chat. And today we have the Bhagavad Gita Chapter 3, verse 35. One of my favorite verses. It is far better to perform one's natural prescribed duty, though tinged with faults, than to perform another prescribed duty, though perfectly. In fact, it is preferable to die in the discharge of one's duty than to follow the path of another, which is fraught with danger. Shall I read it again? I read it again. It is far better to perform one's natural prescribed duty, your purpose, basically, though tinged with faults, even if you can't do it well, than to perform another's prescribed duty, which is absolutely none of your business, though you can do it perfectly. In fact, it is preferable to die in the discharge of one's duty. It's better to die doing your purpose, even if you don't do it well, than to follow the path of another, which is fraught with danger.
Start?
Please.
Okay, here I go. Yes, indeed, it is a biblical quote. I mean, the whole Gita is biblical, but it's so deep and so, in many ways and in a wonderful way, counterintuitive to our superficial thinking. It really confronts how we were raised. We were raised to seek for success, whatever. Be a lawyer, be a star. Yeah, you can play the guitar if you are a star. Then it's a success. Yeah? Be this, be that, be a success. Be a success. And we place very rigid social values which have sometimes little to do and sometimes nothing to do with the universal values, and we follow these values in a completely wrong way. We have this misunderstanding, this profound misunderstanding of what has value, and we measure value as success. Success in what you are doing, which is completely irrelevant. Imagine our body would work like that. Imagine we would have the liver cell doing perfectly what supposed to be the pancreas. It's doing in the heart. It's doing as if he's a heart cell. Perfectly. Half of the liver is working like a heart. Perfectly. You die. And if the liver cell is trying to be a good liver cell and is not perfect, because we don't have perfect livers, most of us. Some, maybe a few rare people have a perfect liver, but mostly we don't. But the liver is trying to be a liver, and therefore the body works. As our bodies are not interested in glory, not interested in media or in likes or in views on YouTube, I don't know what. They are interested to do their duty, and the entirety of nature for billions of years is built like that. So Krishna tells us, do your own duty, your Swadharma, your personal Dharma. Do that fully, engage in that with all your heart. And if you can't do it perfectly, at least you try to do what is for you, what is your place. And how would you know your Swadharma, your personal purpose? By awakening your heart. Like the cell has its center of DNA which tells it its place in the body, so the heart has the entire universe. To quote Rumi, he says, I am completely amazed that that which cannot be contained anywhere is contained in the heart. Once the heart is awakened, you know I have to clear out garbage. This is my Dharma. You do that, it's perfect. I have to teach piano to one person. Perfect. Look at Tilopa. One of the greatest spiritual masters ever. Was a fisherman for a very long time, and then had one disciple. And that one disciple brought many, many, many other disciples, and brought the 6 yogas of Naropa and thousands, a lineage that's still alive today. He just did his Dharma. He had strength in him, Tilopa, to do all sorts of things and to receive glory in his time. He received absolutely no glory. He had one disciple. But that was his Dharma, and it was enough. And it is through people that do their Dharma that the body, that is the village, the country, humanity, the universe, works in harmony. And this is the real universal value. Be what you need to be in the universal order of things, not in the eyes of man. Yeah, to quote Christ, he keeps on saying, if you sound the trumpet before you, as you donate something, you will receive your reward from men. If you pray in front of men, you receive your reward from men. This is useless. It doesn't stick. It disappears when you die. But if you do your Dharma in front of the open eye of the universal consciousness of God, that has real value. And it needs each one of us to do our particular role.
Can you tell again this? We are still on our Mahabharata
Yes.
4-hour movie that we recommend.
5.5.
5.5 hours
Yeah.
that we love and recommend. Definitely watch it. This, what you said when they asked Bhishma, is it better for the...
Yes, so Krishna asks Bhishma. Bhishma is the immortal warrior, the greatest warrior there in the Mahabharata, or one of 2 of the greatest. And Krishna asks them, what's the worst thing? And Bhishma said, the worst thing is the destruction of Dharma.
Of purpose, of duty,
of duty.
Integration.
Integration. This is the worst thing. And Krishna tells them, and if we had to choose between the destruction of your race and Dharma, what would you choose? And Bhishma said, yeah, I've been thinking about it. I've been thinking that this is what it's about to happen. Just to add here, when a cell, a healthy, very healthy cell, has a virus entering into it, the cell has a gene, P something, I can't remember, P40 I think, that tells the cell to kill itself. That's a healthy cell. If all the cells were this healthy, viruses will not spread. Now they try to do it with cancer. Elephants have that. When a cell gets cancer, it's suicide. It's better to die in the cause of Dharma. Yeah? Yes.
Yeah, this word duty that is used in this little verse, of course, translates into Dharma, and it is a bit of it's difficult. It's a difficult attempt to translate the word Dharma from Sanskrit into English, because it does mean duty, but it also means purpose, and it also means total integration into the godly will. It therefore also means that which brings complete bliss, which brings Buddhahood, which brings enlightenment. So actually, within that word Dharma sits the entire concept of the path of karma yoga. Just contemplating that word of Dharma and all its meanings makes you understand how karma yoga actually works, how this path leads you from the very down to earth in this moment dutiful action, like Gandhi missing his great speech because he was cleaning the toilet, because the toilet needed cleaning, from that humble but common sense integrated action, therefore aligning with the duty that lies within Dharma, brings you all the way into fulfilling your purpose, into enlightenment, freedom, liberation, and all of that. So I would invite you, I would hope that you would try at one point to just hold within your space of awareness the concept of Dharma and really give it a moment to contemplate. Because very unfortunately, also by the way we are raised, socialized, how our language works and so forth, we have sort of really come out of touch with this concept of Dharma, with the idea that freedom is not to do what you want, but freedom is to really want what you're doing and what you are meant to do. This is actually in Tantra very much related to, in the Mahavidya system, to the great cosmic power Tripura Bhairavi, is considered the actual spiritual maturity. It is reached when we are able to, full of happiness, full of inner freedom, perform that which is necessary, that which is the duty of the moment, that which is the purpose of the moment, which then becomes the gateway within that moment into enlightenment, into liberation, reintegrating into the godly will. And as we have sort of torn apart and put into different boxes all these different words, for us it doesn't necessarily come together so easily as Westerners, the very simple duty here and now, and the glorious concept of some purpose that then I can write a book about later on and shine and glory and so forth. And then the concept of enlightenment and freedom, they don't match very well for us. But what this verse holds within it, and I do agree, it is a biblical verse, it has such a gravitas to it somehow, is that it makes us understand that duty, purpose, freedom, they are all the same thing. And if you can figure out what is your duty right now, that is enough. That will lead you forward. You don't need to think what is your purpose in 20 years. And for sure, one of the big tragedies in the Western society and the way that we are socialized is that we have this egoistic arrogance of thinking that, but we are better than this. This is for sure not our purpose. Everything is meaningless. The big stupidity of continuously comparing ourselves with what the other one is doing, not being able to embrace our destiny, whatever that may be, whatever God has in store for us, wherever the universe has placed us, to be there and to enjoy that. That is freedom. And this is basically what this little verse holds within it. And I like that it goes to this extreme, which is actually not so extreme, but because it's simply a very clear expression of what it means to follow the Dharma. In fact, it is preferable to die in the discharge of one's duty than to follow the path of another, which is fraught with danger. And we think we are so smart when we try to copy everyone else, when we try to come up with our own thing and our own story, and this is all not for me because I'm bigger than this, or this is all not for me because I'm too small for that. And all of these stories that we tell to ourselves, which keep us continuously away from what needs to happen here now. Very simply, clean that toilet, write that email, breathe, look at the mountain, write that poem that is coming through you right now. Enjoy that spark of color which just hit your eye. As simple as that. That accumulated moment by moment, now, comes up to purpose. And purpose will be the real purpose, not I come up with something from my ego, but the truthful purpose that is written within your heart and that expresses itself naturally. If you choose the right thing now, it will become your path into enlightenment. It will become a continuous blossoming of your being exactly into what you are meant to be. Even if that seems to the ego completely ridiculous and meaningless and unjoyful and I don't know what, like that woman, the peace pilgrim who walked in America, just walking, getting food from anybody who would give to her, sleeping in whoever's house they would invite her, and she would just walk and pray because she felt in her heart that is what is meant to be done. You could argue that that is meaningless in all sorts of ways that the ego can conceive. But she actually inspired thousands of people and became such an example of simply following your heart and in that way becoming a radiant force in this world, even if it is as simple as walking and praying or cleaning a toilet in the right moment, which then becomes a story that some spiritual teachers will tell 50 years later in their little lecture on karma yoga. This is how meaningful that cleaning of the toilet was, imagine. So see what is your cleaning of the toilet, what is your thing that needs to be done now, moment by moment, and then the big skill is not to resist it, because typically we know exactly, and then we don't do it because we have one way or another resistance towards it. We judge it as being too small, too big, too difficult, too much effort, too little effort, and so forth.
No, you can feel resistance also towards bad things. You can feel absolute resistance towards hitting someone. It's possibly not your dharma to hit them. No, the resistance itself is not enough. It's when there is this game. You need to identify who is feeling that this is the duty and who is resisting. There is a certain game there, and once you identify the correct forces and you see, okay, my heart really from the depth of my soul, it tells me to do that, and then my old habits, my fears, something egoistic, something artificial, something which is not me, is resisting it, then it becomes very clear what to do. When I was about to speak to Advaita, I think it was the first or second Tantra teacher some 7-8 years ago. So I was going to speak to him. My integration in Romania finished. I finished my master's degree, and I was going to speak to him where to go next. At that time, he was in charge of that. And it's very hard to get a meeting with him. I don't know if you tried, but you can wait 6 months easily, and maybe after 6 months. In any case, I was trying very much to meet him, but I was resisting in any way to surrender to him, and I was trying to outsmart him and to go where I want to go, which was at that time Malmö in Sweden. At least I had maybe a little bit of a bias to that, but I was trying to have the meeting go my way. And after every day in the lecture, Ava, can we meet? Talk to me tomorrow. Ava, can we meet? Talk to me tomorrow. And there was such a resistance inside of me towards my Dharma, which is to surrender. Why do I even ask him if I'm not, there was no openness, there was a manipulation, there was trying to force my agenda, which wasn't even very clear, but just to do it my way, to rather treat him like a puppet. And he's integrated, he can feel these things, and no, cannot meet. And then in the night I had a dream, and I became lucid in the dream, as you will all be able to come if you learn the new course that will come in February. I became lucid in the dream, I looked at my hands, I went to find Greek, I found Greek, or he was there already, and there was a crowd of people, I pushed everyone away, it was my dream, I'm gonna meet Greek, I don't care. And Greek was sitting on a chair like I'm sitting now, some metallic chair, and I sat on the floor and held his hand with a lot of love, said, Greek, I finished my master's degree, and it's time for me to leave Romania and go somewhere, and I want to go and teach somewhere, and these are my options. And he looked with such a grace, he says, very good, yes, caressing my hand, very good. Go and speak to Advaita. Go and speak to Mihai Stoyan, he said. Go and speak to Advaita. And I realized the message was, hey, relax, surrender. You will have the good integration. You are a part of something greater find your place. And in the morning I realized, okay, I will not manipulate Advaita. And then after the class I said, Ava, can we speak? He said, yeah, come, let's have lunch together. And we spoke, and I arrived in Thailand. And he wasn't like, oh, we in the Federation need somebody in Thailand. I just shared, look, this is my heart and soul. And he said, look, Mama will not be so challenging for you. There's so many teachers there. And I will just be one of the teachers. Thailand, you can manifest, you can bring forth your value and so forth. And he saw in me what I didn't see. It seemed more comfortable there, where it's cold and windy and boring and so forth. But it appeared that he was right. And it was my role to go and understand the resistance is wrong and the wish to surrender is right. My Dharma was to surrender. This was my moment to be in and receptive and just show myself and then follow the impulse. And the resistance was the obstacle.
Absolutely,
often it is very much related. That's why you were born with that. It was planned long before. So your talents are a hint. They are mostly a good guide, but not alone. They don't stand alone in that.
The thing is that due to the agitation of the mind, many times you don't even know what are your talents. You get some idea with some things that you can see, but you actually need to become quiet and look with your heart in order to understand what are your talents, because you will be filtering them for sure. Like one of our sweet friends who is meant to be a potter, and she just sucked at it. And then she trained herself for 3 years until she was good at it, because she felt she's meant to be a potter even though she sucks at it. So it depends a little bit. You might then reveal that actually you are the best potter in town, which by now she is, but you need to put the effort, right? This was our comment on the Gita.
Yes.
Hey guys, if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content on spirituality, tantra and more.
And if you want to sign up for our online classes or for our retreats, you can see our website on the description below.